Hello, I'm EnterElysium and welcome back to Let's Play Duelyst. So, we're gonna probably be taking the card deck out for a spin again. I'm really into that deck right now. And a couple of people have asked me to go over the deck composition, so we'll do that at the end, just because I think only a few people are gonna be interested in that, like, really kind of, like, key stuff about how the deck is built. For now, we'll just play, and then at the end, I'll try and tack on an explanation of how the deck works. Or at least how it should work. It has a few compromises, because I don't have some super rare cards that would tend to help in a couple of places. Stuff like getting extra cards from like the draws and stuff would help. I don't know but what else it really could do with. I mean, I think it's a fairly decent deck. There are a couple of things here and there that I would tweak, but I don't think it's too far off being how I would create it if I had a perfect choice. Not that my choice would be perfect, I need to work on what I think is good and not. Okay, Vanna versus Vanna, I can go for this. Right, replace up to 2 cards. Replace you. Yeah, I could go for that. I mean, it's more expensive, but it actually goes to less expensive if I get hurt. Okay, but it's a rainbow one. So, what I need to do is play you here. Both draw cards, which is fine. And then you'll probably move to there so that you've got infiltrate. I'm probably fine with that. Oh, also, hello. And I will... I'm not going to redraw. End turn. Yeah, you're going to go there, play there, and you're going to move that to there to get 2 more mana. Yeah, that's fine. Or, you could think about it a lot. Now, her ability, if you don't know, she's the default Vanna leader. She does 2 damage to all enemies in the general column. So, like, everyone in here. So I don't really want to have people stacked in my general's column, which means my general won't be too different. Dying Wish, summon a ghost, basically. Yep. But we both play each other, that's fine. And then you didn't go for this. Okay. Right, I've got 4 mana. I will have 1 more if I capture this space. I'm going to redraw you, because I've got 2 of you at the moment. Crystal Wisp. Yeah, I can go for that. Permanent +1 mana. But Shiro Puppy Dragon. Crystal Wisp. End turn. We don't really need that 1 mana, but... And there we go, the power's available, but luckily there's nothing in my row. It'll still do 2 damage to my general, though, which is annoying. We've got a Saber-Spine Tiger, which is what we needed. So we can add bonuses to it and then use Rush. By the way, the player base would basically sort of say that that makes me scum for using the +1/+1 Saber-Spine Tiger Rush combination. Whenever you summon a Vesper minion, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion. Yeah, that's not allowed. Well, that means I can now get my Chakra minion for 2 less, so it's only 3 mana. What I think I'll do is... Shiro Puppy Dragon won't live. I think I'll retreat Shiro. There's nothing really to be gained by letting Shiro stay in the enemy's, like, front. I'll murder that myself. And then send Chakram up. And then I use your ability to switch you in. So this is another card which is a low, like, mana minion. It costs 2. But it has opening gambit, switch position with any other minions. So it basically allows me to reposition enemy minions and gives me a bit of utility without having to use a spell. And because it's a minion, it'll get +1/+1, like it already has. Now, Shiro isn't really doing much right now. Only adjacent minions get +1 attack at the end of the turn. But it is in a position where I can probably use it somewhere. Yeah, every time you summon Vesper, deal 2 damage to random enemy minion. I'm not liking that. Come on. What you got in store for me? It's got infiltrate. Yeah. No! Yes, please. If it kills his minions, I'll be very happy. Okay. So here's the story, all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. No, actually, this is very important. We need to start playing in their side of the battlefield because they have got infiltrate. You need to murder that. Can anyone murder this? No. It's got 3 health. So we're going to move to here. I'm going to play you because you draw me extra cards. Your general gains +2 attack. Enemy... Yeah, that's kind of useless. I'm going to replace that. Another draw. Sure. And then we'll play Shiro. For the bonus attack. Which means you'll probably sacrifice the Cloaker to kill Chakram. Oh, I've got loads of Sword Sister Kian. Yeah, you'll do 2 damage to me and my rogue. That's fine. She's mainly played to get those extra 2 cards. Opening Gambit, add 2 random cards from your faction to your action bar. It's fine. I mean, if you don't like them, you can just replace them. There we go, sacrifice. Is that a spell? Do 4 damage. Yeah. Draw a Vesper from your deck. There we go. Hey, what you got in store for me next? I'm obviously the best Vanar leader. There we go. Cast it. Oh, she's replacing. She doesn't have any cards that she wants to play. Okay. Like I said, not a massive surprise. Now you're playing for time. Okay, so this is basically a way of just trying, desperately trying to find something else to do. Now, here's a question. Do I go for the +1s with the Sword Sister? Or do I try and draw more cards and then get the +1s on the things that we draw? And the answer to that is obviously we just try and draw. Now, I could attack this and then get you to move in there. I wouldn't be able to play cards, so I'm going to switch around here. Attack that. Play here. There we go. I'm going to redraw you, because I've got 2 of you. These Vespers aren't very good, because I've got Infiltrate, and this is the Infiltrate area. And I'm going to be playing over here from now on. If I draw again... You know what? Screw it. We'll just surround her. So she can't really play any minions without attacking something. Opening Gambit, Dispel. So again, treat that like a spell. We've got something with airdrop. There's a Vesper minion that's like a 11-5 with airdrop or something. 10-5, 10-4, 10-4. That might be what you're waiting for. There we go. Arctic Displacer. In the corner? I'm worried now. I actually want to really kill that. Because you'd think that would play near my general. Interesting choice. I'm worried now. You might have a card that gives that ranged. Which means I need to kill it. Right, so we play Sword Sister. One minion becomes a 5-5, it can no longer attack generals. Meh. I'm going to redraw that. Chakram! Somewhat useful. I could sacrifice my Save Spine Tiger with Rush to kill that, because I can use these two as a combo. I'm going to delay. I'm going to instead attack. I paid full price for that as well. Ugh. I can always use Aspect of the Fox here to turn that into a 3 through no ability. So if they do range that, I can kill it off next turn. Well, at least make it kind of near. Ah, there we go. That was the cunning. See, I should have killed it off. Respect your opponent. That was cunning. Well played. Okay. Now I'm on a time limit, because I believe next turn you'll be able to cast that immediately. That's fine. It's a shame, but it's fine. Next turn, you'll just kill me with that. There's only one hope for it, and that's to get another Save Spine Tiger. I mean, I can get rid of you, but next turn you'll just cast. You can't act this turn, so let's replace. Come on, Save Spine Tiger. It does draw me an extra card when it's played. Save Spine Tiger. Provoke doesn't do what I want to do. It doesn't prevent spells, so we'll get the +1. How much damage can we do? We can do 6. Okay, we got this. Right. Move to there. Punch. Punch. Next time, kill off the Displacer. I should have seen. I saw it was a problem, but I didn't do it. And really, I got lucky there. Not lucky. I was saving the Save Spine since the very beginning of the game, but oh, I should have tipped gold for that. Whoops. But I saw that there was a problem there. More gold, more gold. So much gold! 60 gold. Welcome back. Play 3 games. Okay, sure. We'll play another one. So I really kind of should have spotted that was going to be an issue. And I did, but I didn't act on it. Okay, so you've got the ability to draw extra cards, but it draws me an extra card. This is actually a great start. Thank you. So his ability basically... Oh, hello. 100 Abyssian wins. Is when he spends his mana to do his spell, we both draw a card. So it's fine. I get to draw a card. I'm happy with that. He's actually a really good opponent for me. I've started on this side quite a lot recently. Oh, it's a Mechazord airdrop. Cheeky little sod. Oh, okay, that's... Well, fair enough. We have to weather this then. Is there any way of me getting to... No, okay. And that's the end of my turn. Unless I choose to attack. Honestly, I think I have to attack. I have to whittle that down, even though it's early. Yeah, you're moving away, so you're going to try and block my Blood Tier Alchemist from getting there? Another Mechazord. Damn. Well, I want that to die so I can get the extra mana. Then I'll kill you off. And then... As much as I'd like to play for the extras, I'm going to play you. Provoke. And then I'm going to hit you. I know I'm at lower health, so it's not the best of trades, but I think I can work in my favor. Yeah, use your ability. Give me more cards. So it must be a Mechazord deck designed around the fact that because you can draw extra cards, you can just keep drawing for Mechazord. Now the reason I went for Provoke here is because when you play on here to get an extra mana tile, you'll still be in Provoke range. Oh. That's annoying. Another Mechazord. Airdrop. Are you planning to like range that or something? Okay, I'm going to play Sword Sister Khan, and then I'm going to use my +1. Dragalor's not bad. It's not what I would have chosen. I don't think I can take that on the nose, so I'm going to back up here. And now we get to save the Spine Tiger. Okay, what you got? Why did you airdrop over there if you want to just move it this way? Ah, you wanted to place a ranged unit over here. That would be why. Yeah, that makes sense. That's going to be a problem for us. That puts a time limit. Also, how, like... Yeah, you need one more Mechazord card, then you've got Mechazord. Mechazord doesn't have Rush, it got pointed out to me in the comments actually. It has Ranged, which is far more scary, because you can just stick it at the edge of the battlefield and do like 8 damage or something. Okay, you've got +1 attack and Frenzy. That's not nice. You did die, however. Well played. However, do you want to sacrifice the Saber Spine this early on? No. Instead, is it going to be Chakram? It really has to be Chakram. And then Sushnar. Yes. Now here's the glitch. If you play a Mechazord card, Mechazord appears. Where are they going to put Mechazord? If it's here, I don't know if I can get to it in time. If it's here... I'm actually close enough to be able to do something. But even then, I need to hit it hard. The Mechazord's going to do 8 damage in, like, the turn it can. And I don't have a spell to deal with it. Or any of my, like, opening gambit, dispel. No, basically it got killed to draw a card. Mechazord? No. Ah, you turned me into an egg! God damn you. And then you're going to hurt the egg. Yeah. As far as I'm aware, that still causes you to die. Yeah. Punch in the face. You draw another card, which is another Sojourner. Let's put down... Honestly, I'm worried about when Mechazord's going to drop right now. So... I've got limited time. I'm going to play that. So that I can play... that. That helps. Does 4 damage. And then I'm going to play... +1. Blood Tear Alchemist. Kill. Okay, I've got 2 Drugger Lords, but whatever. End turn. Okay, and I've got Dispel there. Now, Drugger Lord has Dying Wish, Summoner, 4/8, Ice Drake on the space. It starts as a 4/8, by the way. We've buffed it a little bit. We've got our Dispel, though. That's what I'm happy about right now. You're going to summon Mechazord. There's nothing I can do to stop you, really. You've only got 2 cards in your hand. You can just keep drawing soon when your power gets up. There we go, Mechazord. Okay, so I moved to there. I need something else, and then Dispel. Airdrop, Frenzy, ranged. Okay. So, that has Grow. So we need to kill that. I can kill that with this. I need to remove that. And I can remove that in a number of ways, but probably the best way is just to remove its abilities of opening Gambit. So, let's think about this logically. If I move you to there, I can then play... Right, so move to there. Play Dispel. It has no abilities now, it's just an 8/8. I mean, that's still pretty scary. Remove that card. So that doesn't have Grow anymore, because Grow just makes it more powerful every turn, and I'm not down for that. That's a bit too much. Now, we can kill you off to get more mana. I don't know if that makes a big difference, really. Instead, Drogalord. Enjoy. And there we go. Extra Saber Spine. So we can do... We'll buff that next turn. That'll be 4. That'll be 5. We can do 9 damage in one turn. Provided we do 4 damage to it, we win. Crystal Whisper. I'm sorry I ruined Mechazord for you. I forgot to say good luck, have fun at the beginning. You're drawing, you're attempting to try and get as many cards as possible now. Really? There's a lot of cards that can just kill a unit outright. I guess you're doing it so that you can instantly kill the Drogalord, but Still a bit of an odd choice. I could sacrifice you to get an extra card. Let's just kill you off. We won't kill it, but it'll do 4 damage, which is enough for the Draugr to then do its thing. And the great thing about Snow Chaser, it has Infiltrate, Replicate. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, so I would like to use my ability. They'll get +1s. Sojourner move to there. We need to put you here so you've got your Replicate ability. You murder. So we murder each other, but we get our Ice Drake. And then with my remaining power, put a Crystal Wisp up here. And then I'm going to probably let you live. No, I won't let you live. You've caused too many problems for me. Turn. And there we go, we've got Aspect of Fox. Transform any minion into a 3/3 with no abilities. So that should deal with any big drops you have. Well, that's not bad. It gives me a reposition. I believe you're dead now. I mean, it's a lovely card. A 1/7 with Grow +4/+4. I can destroy instantly with Aspect the Fox, though. Yep, you're dead. Because I can just save a Spiny now. Murder. Murder. Dead. Oh yeah! Sweet. That feels satisfactory. That was a hard-fought game. Alright. Let's have a look at my collection. So, if we want to have a look at the composition of this deck. So yeah, by the way, if you're just not interested in like deck creation or anything, or how like the tactics work behind this deck, cool, I hope you enjoyed. But this is basically how the deck works. So, Kara Winterblade, designed around the +1/+1. So the idea is you want lots of minions, you constantly want your hand full. Because basically, because that hits everything in your hand, you want to maximize it. So you want a full hand at all times. Not like full so that you're going to lose cards, but, you know, as full as you can have without that happening. So you want to have lots and lots of cards. So we're talking about, cool, you need to have as many like draw cards as possible without going overboard. You also, this is very important, you need to be able to play lots of minions. And the reason for this is you want to always be able to play minions. So you want lots of them. You want them low mana so that you can always play them. You want to be able to play them at the beginning of the game, and you want to be able to play them at the end of the game. The +1/+1 does not differentiate between what stage of the game it is. Now, of course, you do get it more at the end of the game. You can play every turn, whereas at the beginning it's, I think, the 3rd turn, 5th turn, 7th turn, 9th turn, 10, 11, 12, 13. So basically, like, the first 2 turns you don't have it, then you have the 3rd turn, then you got to wait another turn. So you also want a lot of minions. So you want to be able to spam loads of low-cost minions. And this, again, means you want to have loads of draw cards. The reason being, if you're playing 2 or 3 minions a turn, you only draw 1 card. So you need to be able to draw more cards. Okay, you can only draw 1 card, so if you're only playing 1 card, that's fine. But if you're playing 3... sometimes, you know, 4, like Kara wants to do, all of with +1/+1/+1/+1, you know, which makes them awesome. You really want to try and, as much as possible, have those cards, so you really need to draw. So, that's kind of the important behind it, right? You also get a lot more bang for your buck if you're playing a lot more cards with +1/+1, because you're not paying for those, you're paying for the base card. So, Aspect of the Fox. This is, like, 3 of the few spells we've got. We've got 5 spells in this deck. This is 3 of them. Transform any minion into a 3/3 Ravager with no ability. This is really important. This kills enemy big creatures. Otherwise, Kara can have some issues. This is very important. You could have used it with Mechazord in the last fight. I didn't. Could have used it against that growth thing at the end when I actually drew it. Lots of important times when you can use this. Blood Tier Alchemist. The reason Blood Tier Alchemist is here is because, frankly, it's just a good card for 1 mana. It does 1 damage to an enemy minion or general, which is, you know, useful at the beginning of the game when you're placing stuff down, trying to get those mana things. Oh, look, they've got a 1/1, bam, dead. Or, oh, look, they've got a 3/1 or a 4/1, or, you know, like Magma has a 6/1 card. It's dead. It doesn't matter. So, Blood Tier Alchemist is useful just because of the opening Gambit is somewhat useful, and it's a 2/1, which is a reasonable price to pay for 1 mana. Snow Chaser. Now, Snow Chaser is here because it's Vesper, which, of course, this is a Vanguard deck, so Vespers are a thing. Infiltrate. When this minion dies, return it to your action bar. So if it's in the enemy half of the board, well, it doesn't really include the middle column, but it's sort of a half, it comes back to your action bar, which is basically drawing a card, except you know what it is. So this is very important. Okay, this is effectively a card that allows you to draw it when it dies, if it's in the enemy section of the board. And then you can +1 it again. Of course, when it dies, it loses those +1s. But still, you can always add them again. Crystal Wisp. It's a 1/1, but Dying Wish, permanently gain 1 mana crystal. Great at the beginning of the game, terrible at the end of the game, because at the end of the game, you can't get more than 9 mana crystals. That said, it's worth it for the beginning of the game, because it allows you to effectively move an extra turn forwards in terms of mana. Ephemeral Shroud. This is really, really important. You only get a 2/2 for 2 mana, but opening Gambit, dispel 1 nearby space. It is a minion that you can treat like a spell. I mean, you need to be able to play it next to an enemy, but if you can, goodbye Mechazord Ranged, goodbye Mechazord Fury, goodbye Mechazord whatever you want to get rid of it. Like, this will just be like, yeah, no, you've got no abilities. Cool, you're an 8/8. I mean, that's, you know, respectful, but yeah, you're not ranged. That's good at your plans. Very, very, very useful card. The reason being we don't want spells because you can't +1/+1 a spell. You can +1/+1 a Shroud, though. Half Sister. Reposition. I mentioned this previously when we had a reposition going on. Very useful for being able to go, look, that minion over there in the corner is ranged. Cool, yeah. Get over here. Yoink. Hit in the face. It's, you know, basically, and again, another spell replacement. Shiro Puppy Dragon. Sort of a spell replacement, but it's a 2 minion. It's a 2 mana minion, which is fine. A 1/4. That's acceptable. It's a 1/4. And every friendly unit near it at the end of the turn gains +1 attack. People tend to single this out to die very quickly because +1 attack every turn to every minion nearby that's friendly, you know, is a bit of an issue. So it does tend to die, and quite frankly, I don't worry about that too much. Often it takes a lot more flack than it really deserves, but it can get out of control, so I see why people do it. So there's 3 Shiro Puppy Dragons in there, so that tends to do really well. Blazehound. Opening Gambit, both players draw a card. A 3 mana minion that's a 4/3, which is, you know, acceptable. It's part of the course. And both players draw a card. Now, of course, I need to draw lots of cards. Don't know about the opponent. Sometimes the opponent needs to draw lots of cards as well, but I doubt they'll need to draw cards more than I do. I need to draw cards a lot. I don't know about the opponent. So I generally think that something that does this to me and the opponent is nearly all the time more beneficial to me. Especially because you can control when you draw by placing the card whenever you want. You might be able to, you know, get them to discard a card because their hand's full of something. Chronogenesis. We have 2 of these in the deck. These are the last of the spells. Deal 4 damage to an enemy minion, draw a Vesper. Part of the reason that we actually have Snow Chasers, there's only 2 of them, is so that we can actually draw them using Cryogenesis. That's pretty much it. It does 4 damage. I mean, for a 3 mana spell, that's actually fairly expensive. But it allows me to draw these, which of course have Infiltrate. They return to your bar when they die. It means that we can basically get them going again. So it is useful, but frankly, if I was allowed to take more turn enemies into a 3/3, I would, but we've got the maximum around the deck of those. 3 Save-Spine Tigers. You may have seen in all my episodes that Save-Spine Tigers are amazing. They are effectively the win condition for Kara. Yes, people hate you for them, because there's not much they can do about them. But at the same time, you do need them at the beginning of the game to really get them useful. Save-Spine Tigers, frankly, you just have them for Rush. That's it. 3 mana for 3/2 is terrible, but they have Rush. The enemy can't do anything about them if you attack. If they get buffed massively before you attack, great. Try not to play them early. Try to play them late. Try and make sure that they are, you know, held in reserve for... Oh, now it's a 7/5 or whatever. Sojourner. When this minion deals damage, draw a card. Effectively gives you a I can draw cards whenever I hit people thing. So effectively once per turn until it dies. Enemies might single this out for death. Don't know. What they could do, which might be worse, would be single it out for just hitting it with lots of 1/1 minions until, you know, effectively you've overdrawn your hand and you're wasting cards. Spelljammer. Also, not rare. Spelljammer, really rare. Spelljammer, I've only got one of these in the deck because I only have one. I could have got more, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Spelljammer. Each player draws an additional card at the end of their turns. Now, the reason this is actually really useful is because enemies will kill it in their turn, but your end of your turn's already happened. You've drawn an extra card. At least that's what I tend to find. Whereas no one goes, okay, I'll leave it around. I want the extra cards. Which is fine, because, you know, I need lots of cards. They're probably right in killing it. But they do single this out for a lot more damage than it really deserves. Spelljammer. Super rare. I only got one of them, so I've put, you know, only one of them in the deck. And frankly, I don't know if I'd really want many more. So I'd have to get rid of something else. Primus Shieldmaster. There's 3 of them in the deck, actually. The reason being is I wanted something to provoke, something that could do a little bit of control. I've got a lot of things for moving stuff around, but I want something that can go, bam, you're controlling this area of the board. Primus Shieldmaster is good for that. I mean, if you wanted something cheaper in mana cost, that'd be fine, but I needed something up the higher end. You see, I've only got 6 cards here with this cost. So, yeah, I went for Primus Shieldmaster. You can +1/+1 if you want to make it a bit better, but frankly, it's really just there for the provoke. Sworn Sister Lycian. So basically, this is a card that is a neutral. You get it for having, I think, 3 rare neutrals unlocked, and you suddenly get, bam, here's 3 of these. So, although it is rare in inverted commas, everyone can get it as like an achievement pretty early on-ish. Opening Gambit, add 2 random cards from your faction, not your deck, to your action bar. Now, of course, this means that I get a lot of cards that I don't really want because they're from Vanar. But what you can do is you can just go, okay, redraw, and you can just redraw the card. Of course, you can only redraw 1 card a turn, and you get 2 of them, but sometimes it's not terrible. It's 3 cards. Hey, what am I going to say? They could be minions, and if they are minions, +1/+1 them. And then, finally, at the highest end, a 5 mana card. Like, a lot of people in their decks have like, oh my god, the high end, yeah, I've got this 8 mana card or whatever. No, we stop at 5. The reason being, Chakram, a 5/5. That's actually a little bit expensive. 5 for a 5/5. However, costs 2 less if you general took damage on your opponent's last turn. Not on your turn, but on the opponent's last turn. So, effectively, for 3 mana, you can get a 5/5, because quite often in the early game-ish, they'll get some 3 hits in against you, especially if you're playing Koi. Yeah, sure, get some 3 hits in against me. Oh, by the way, well, effectively you could do it turn 1 if they had a rush minion, I think. Yeah. No, they couldn't do it turn 1. They have to do it turn 2. But in theory, you could play it on turn 1 if you had the defending and if you got hit. But otherwise, you could in theory play this on turn 2. A 5/5. Holy crap. It's a good card, especially when you can +1/+1 and get it for cheaps. And that's it for the deck. It's not a complicated deck. You just have to focus around having creatures that have abilities that you can use as spells, because you can also +1/+1 them. If they were spells, that'd be a wasted slot. So, Bloodtear Alchemist, etc. Particularly the Shroud and the Half-Sister. Very much the Shroud. Opening Gambit, Dispel is amazing. And also making sure you have enough draw to be able to draw enough cards to your hand. I don't think I've ever had issues with my hand being particularly empty at the moment, so I don't think I need to get any more draws in here. Sometimes I do get like 3 cards in my hand, but sometimes I do have issues with overdrawing my hand. So if I was to edit this deck, I'd maybe consider another Spelljammer, but other than that, I'm quite happy with how this is working out. The downside of Spelljammer, of course, being the opponent gets to use it as well. I mean, for the same cost, effectively, for the same stats as Sword Sister, a Sworn Sister, it is 1 mana cheaper. Of course, it does apply to the enemy, but I can probably use it more. I'd probably trade out maybe a Sworn Sister for a Spelljammer or something. It is a bit of a toss-up. But, yeah, that's my deck. Karatak. Because I'm terrible at names. So, yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please remember to like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. But until next time, stay shiny.